Kia ora Star Wars fans, welcome to middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures. Now recently I picked up a few more figures and I picked up another one of these amazing VC-231 Stormtroopers. I've actually lost count of how many of these I've bought now that they're regularly available. I always pick them up. And it's a near perfect Imperial Trooper. And so it got me thinking about what are the other Imperial Troopers that are in desperate need of an update. And I could come up with a definitive list of 4, but these things are usually a top 5, so the 5th one's a little bit dubious. But anyway, come with me on this video. Let me know in the comments below what Imperial Troopers you think are in a desperate need of an update for the vintage collection. Alright, before we get into this list, I just want to acknowledge what an awesome figure the VC-231 Stormtrooper is. And the only point of articulation that is lacking on this, which we now see in the latest figures, is the hip articulation. But here is VC-231. Next to its predecessor, VC-140, you can see they added rocker ankles and the holster, and they put it on this awesome classic Star Wars card back. So that's really good. So the only upgrade they could do to this is to add the newer hip articulation. Also need to acknowledge how many awesome variants of that VC-140 and VC-231 Stormtrooper that Hasbro's managed to knock out, including the Artillery Trooper, the Heavy Trooper, the Remnant Trooper, Shadow Trooper, Shadow Stormtrooper, the Incinerator Trooper, Stormtrooper Commando, and there was also the Heavy Stormtrooper, the one that comes with an E-Web cannon that's not pictured here. So a lot of variants already. And I nearly forgot the Mimban Trooper, which actually came out before the first VC-140 Stormtrooper in the Vintage Collection line. Okay, so number 4 in my top 4 is the Sand Trooper, and as you can see here, it's already been released twice in the Vintage Collection line. We've got left to right, we've got VC-14, we've got VC-112, and then we've got the Lost Line look of VC-112. There is VC-112, and you can see there he comes loaded out with accessories, which is pretty cool, but he also comes with what I call the Grumpy Cat expression on the helmet. Now that loadout is very, very cool, and comes with quite a lot of a wash on him as well. VC-14 came with no wash at all, which was terrible, but just imagine we had something like the Remnant Stormtrooper, but with a pauldron, with a backpack, slightly different weathering, of course. Anyway, I've got this all the way down at number 4 because I think this is an absolute given, especially with Return to Tatooine. The Mos Eisley Cantina is coming out, the HasLab next year, so that's another reason. Not sure if we need another carded version, if they can find a really nice film out. Maybe the one that's on here. That would be pretty cool, but really I want them in 4-packs like this. I think that would be really cool. Alright, number 3 on my list is the TIE Fighter Pilot. And honestly, I don't think you can really improve too much on that card back. It's the classic Kenner card back. It looks absolutely amazing. But the figure is pretty bad. Let's have a look. He has just swivels at the hips. And he does have some articulation in the knees, so you can actually get him sitting in the cockpit, but the proportions are not that great in my opinion. He comes with a holster. Yeah, compared to what we've been getting lately, this just isn't up to scratch. Oh, and he has this kind of silly removable helmet. So again, not a great figure, but such an important Imperial Trooper. I've even still got this one in the baggie from the Vintage Collection. TIE Fighter Pilot, so iconic, definitely needs a new figure. And number 2 on my list, surely you've guessed by now, it's the ATAT Pilots. Definitely need an upgrade. Alright, so these are our most modern ATAT drivers. So on the left we've got the one from the Saga Collection, 2006. In the middle there we've got the Legacy Collection. And I've just got the Vintage Collection TIE Fighter Pilot there just to kind of compare the helmets to just show how crazily out of whack they look. The Saga one, I mean, it looks okay sitting in the cockpit of the ATAT. But yeah, proportions look very off to me. Hasn't got great articulation. In fact, I think it has swivelly elbows, and then swivelly gloves. Ugh. And swivel hips, and it's got some knees, and it's actually got some waist, and the Legacy Collection one, the helmet's way too bulky. I know Randy's not a fan of these hard plastic pilot suit dangly bits, and yeah, it's one of these ones where I don't know why they were doing this, putting a head underneath. Just give us a helmeted head, Hasbro. Get this one updated. It's an absolutely critical one for the Finish the 96, so we need an all new sculpt for that one. So get that on your last figure standing list, get that on your March Madness list. Let's get it done. Number 1 on my list, moving from the head to the body, staying with that Empire Strikes Back and ATAT theme, it's the Snowtrooper. And here is my number 1 pick for the Imperial Trooper variant that I would love all new sculpting for in the vintage collection. And so here we go, Imperial Stormtrooper Hoth Battle Gear. I'm always going to call it Snowtrooper. Here's the classic card back image. This of course is the precursor to the vintage collection, the Saga collection, or the vintage Saga collection, so it doesn't count. But also the figure is terrible. This is the Legacy collection one, which is the latest of the grunt ones that we've got, and one of the annoying things about it is this helmet just pops right off. So you can barely find any of them second hand as well, because they're usually missing that helmet, and there's absolutely no need for a human head under there. You can see there as well, he's just got swivels at the thighs, and his articulation is basically lacking. Elbows can't get to 90. All that other fun stuff. We really need that new barbell hip articulation. I do like the use of soft goods on this though for the Karma. I think that looks really cool. Is he gonna just fall over now? And then I did also want to show the Snowtrooper Commander, which we got in the 3.75 inch Black Series line. So he looks cool. He has more of a plastic Karma. Has a little holster there, but also he's not the greatest. He does have a solid head. But anyway, there is a massive argument to get a new Snowtrooper in the line. He's been on my March Madness lists, I think, all 3 years so far, and he's going to be in last figure standing for me again as well, which launches soon, I believe. Yeah, that's where we're at. That is my number 1 pick. And there we go. The cool thing about the Empire is they did have some awesome troopers. I love the Shore Troopers. I love the Death Troopers. I did think about including a Patrol Trooper in this video to make the top 4 a top 5. But I really only want 1 or 2. I'd love to get that speeder that he comes in, but I don't need a whole army of them. Mud Troopers as well, or, you know, could have a super articulated version of this and turn it into the Black Riot Troopers from Andor. That would be pretty cool. But anyway, that's my video. You saw my top 4. Please let me know in the comments section below if you agree with it or not. What are your favorites? What ones would you like them to see done in the vintage collection? Let me know. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I'm middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures. Ka kite, and I'll see you on another video.